from people is that we're not doing responsible. The feeling that I've had personally just to share is it's like it's 1944 and you get a call from Robert Oppenheimer inside this thing called the Manhattan Project. You have no idea what that is. And he says the world is about to change in a fundamental way. Except the way it's about to change is not being deployed in a safe and responsible way. It's being deployed in a very dangerous way. And will you help from the outside? And when I say Oppenheimer, I mean more of a metaphor of a large number of people who are concerned about this, and some of them might be in this room, people who are in the industry, and we wanted to figure out what does responsibility look like. Now, why would we say that? Because this is a stat that took me by surprise. 50% of AI researchers believe there's a 10% or greater chance that humans go extinct without the ability to control AI. Half of AI researchers believe there's a 10% or greater chance from humans' inability to control AI. That would be like if you're about to get on a plane and 50% of the engineers who make the plane say, well, if you get on this plane, there's a 10% chance that everybody goes down. Would you get on that plane? Right? But we are rapidly onboarding people onto this plane because of some of the dynamics that we're going to talk about, because sort of 3 rules of technology that we want to quickly go through with you that relate to what we're going to talk about.
This just names the structure of the problem. So first, when you invent a new technology, you uncover a new class of responsibility. And it's not always obvious what those responsibilities are. So to give 2 examples, we didn't need the right to be forgotten to be written into law until computers could remember us forever.
Sickness.
It's not at all obvious that machine storage would mean or we didn't need the right
kind of sickness for this world.
until mass-produced
Plenty type of sickness for this world.
essentially from scratch invent the right.
Some sickness go hold you, you not go know where you there.
Fast forward just a little bit.
Some sickness go hold you,
We are still in
you
the
not
process
go
of
know
figuring
where
out how to write
you
new law
do.
that which the intended.
Some sickness go hold you,
So
you not
when you
go
invent
know
a new
where you
technology, you
there.
uncover a new class of responsibility.
So pain,
And then 2,
hot,
if that technology
so
confers
pain
power to
for your
people
body.
and if you do not coordinate the race
For people where they know well,
one single player,
make them know my know, it go better. It go better. Make them pray for God, oh, it go better.
And I would say that social dilemma, social media, was actually humanity's first
I say it go better. It go better. It go better. It go better.
When you open up TikTok and you scroll your finger, you just activated the supercomputer that AI pointed at your brain to calculate and predict with increased accuracy perfect things to control. So we already now have every single day an AI, which is a very simple technology, just calculating what photo, what video, what cat video, what birthday to show your nervous system to keep you scrolling. But that fairly simple technology was enough in the first contact with AI
Some people they die,
to break
some people they
humanity with
well.
information overload, addiction,
Some
doom
people
scrolling,
they come for
sexualization,
hospital,
attention
and
span,
some
polarization,
people they
fake
discharge.
news, and breakdown of democracy.
Some are not
And
die,
no
they
one
for their hope.
intended those
They
things to
know
happen,
well.
right?
All na
We just had a bunch of
sickness,
engineers who said, we're just trying to maximize for
every
engagement.
part of the world.
It seems so innocuous, and while you're getting better and better recommendations and that are more and more personalized,
For
YouTube people
people
didn't know
where
that
know
was
well,
rabbit holes that sent people
make
into
them
different
not
little
think too
micro
much.
holes throughout the internet.
By God's power,
And so,
it go better.
we're obviously going to talk about what happens in the second contact, but we also have a bunch of benefits that we're going to get from this technology, and there's also a race for
I say it go
something.
better. It go better. It go better. It go better. Make you not think too much.
And so in this first
By
contact,
God's
this
power, it go
humanity.
better.
Now, why did we lose? How could we lose? Because we were saying a bunch of things about what social media was, right? We actually noticed, we said, well, social media is going to give everyone a voice. The point here is, just like we said, there's a paradigmatic response to AI. What was the paradigm in which we were seeing what social media was about? The paradigm was, we're giving people voice, giving them a platform, connecting people with their friends. We're letting people join like-minded communities. We're going to enable small, medium-sized businesses to reach their customers. And these things are all true. These are actual benefits. These are awesome benefits. These were not incorrect things to say. But one of the things we like to say is, behind this friendly face, there was some other problems. And people pointed them out. We've got an addiction problem, a disinformation problem, mental health, speech versus censorship. But in our work, if you've been following it on the social dilemma, we sort of said even behind that, there was actually this even deeper thing, which is this arms race, which we talked about in that third law. And the arms race was for attention. It became a race about the brainstem. And that was created this kind of engagement monster that was this AI that was just trying to maximize engagement. So while these things on the left were true, we missed the deeper paradigm. And so we think that if we want to predict what's going to happen in other areas that are going to induce themselves in society, we have to understand what's actually behind the way the narrative is talked about it.
Just know, if you try to solve these problems, addiction, disinformation, on your own, you're going to be playing whack-a-mole and you're not going to get to generate adoption.
And it's important to note that maximizing engagement actually wasn't, it rewrote the rules of every aspect of our society, because it took these other core aspects of our society into its tentacles and took them hostage. So now, children's identity is held hostage by if you're 18 years old and you don't have a Snapchat account or Instagram account, you don't exist. Right? It's held that hostage. You are socially excluded. Media and journalism don't have a chance to exist outside of being on Twitter and being able to do yourself on Twitter. National security now happens through social media and information warfare, politics and elections. These things are now run through this engagement economy, which has infused itself and entangled itself, which is why it's now so hard to regulate. And part of why we wanted to call this moment here is we believe major step functions in AI are coming, and we want to get to it before it becomes entangled in our society. So in this second contact with GPT-3, it's first to notice, have we actually fixed the misalignment problem? And we haven't, because it's become entangled. Now, if we talk about the second contact moment, which we focus on GPT-3, the new large language model, what are the narratives that we're talking about now? We're saying AI is going to make us more efficient. It's going to help us write things faster, write code faster, solve impossible scientific challenges, solve climate change, and help us make a lot of money. And these things are all these are real benefits. These are real things that are going to happen. And also behind that, you've got this weird creepy thing again. You've got people worried about, well, what about AI bias? What if it takes our jobs? We need transparency. Hey, AI is acting creepy. Black lives reported. And behind all that is this other kind of monster. And this monster is a set, because AI is understood in one way, going into the second, this monster is increasing its capability to entangle itself in society. So the purpose of the presentation is to try to get ahead of that. But in the second contact with AI, don't worry, we're going to get into all of this. These are the kinds of things that we do. And so we are coming to you as if we're time travelers, coming back in time. Because we have been asked by people, again, who are worried about work, and importantly, we are not here to talk about everything we're going to talk about in terms of that AI is not the AI. So,
just to be clear, a lot of what the AI community is most about is when there's what they call takeoff, that AI becomes smarter than humans in a broad spectrum of things, begins the ability to self-improve, then we ask it to do something. It, the old standing story of be careful what you wish for because it will come true in an unexpected way. You wish to be the richest person, so the AI kills everyone else. It's that kind of thing. That's not what we're here to talk about, although that is like a significant and real concern.
And, we'll say that there's many reasons to be skeptical of AI. I have been skeptical of AI. AI maybe a little bit less so.
Maybe a little bit less so. We're using it to try to decode animal communication. But at the same time, I think this is all our experience of using AI, or at least AI in the past.
Siri set a 9-hour and 50-minute timer.
Playing the Beatles.
co-founder of
Siri. Sorry. But something really different happened. AI has really changed, and it really started to change in 2017. There's sort of a new AI that got invented, and it sort of like slept for around 3 years, and it really started to rev up in 2020. And I'm going to give sort of like a high-level overview. So this is like a 50,000-foot view of AI. If you were to double-click and go in there, you'd see lots of different kinds of things, different species of AI. But I wanted to give you like trend lines so you can synthesize them. So what is the thing that happened? Well, it used to be, when I went to college, that there were many different disciplines within machine learning. There's computer vision, there's speech recognition, and speech synthesis, and image generation, and many of these were disciplines so different that if you were in them, you couldn't read papers from the other. There were different textbooks, there were different and that changed in 2017 when all of these fields started to become one.
Just to add, it used to be that because they were distinct fields and they had different methods for robotics and for image recognition, when you have a bunch of AI researchers who are working in those fields, they're making incremental improvements on different things. Right? So they're working on different topics, and so they might get 2%, 3% improvements in their area. But when it's all getting synthesized now into this new large language model, that I was talking about, part of seeing the exponential curve is that now everyone's contributing to one curve.
Yeah. So the sort of insight was, if you look up a specific thing that's called a transformer, invented, it's actually very simple. You can write in around 200 lines of code. Is that you can start to treat absolutely everything as language. So you take like the text of the internet, the way these things are trained, is that you would sort of take a sentence, move some words, try to predict those words, predict the words that are used. But it turns out you don't just have to do that with text. This works for almost anything. So you can take, for instance, images. Images you can just treat as a kind of language. It's just a set of image patches that you can arrange in a linear fashion, and then you just predict the part of the image that's missing. So images can be treated as language. Sound, you break it up into little microphonemes, predict which one of those comes next. That becomes a language. FMRI data becomes a kind of language. DNA is just another kind of language. And so suddenly, any advance in any one part of the AI world became an advance in every part of the AI world. You can just copy paste. You can see how you get an influx, not just of people coming in, but that advances now are immediately multiplicative across the entire set of fields, and even more so because these are all just languages. Just like AI can now transit between human languages, you can transit between many of these different modalities, which is why it's interesting. It's like the field is so new, it doesn't actually have a unified name for these things, but we're going to give them one, which is that these things are generative. They make large language, multimodal, images, text, sound all the same models, or for short, those are golems.
And golems, because in Jewish folklore, the idea of these inanimate objects that suddenly gain their sort of own emergent classes that you didn't bake into the inanimate clay range. Right? Not saying that they're agentic and doing their own things as they go and have their own goals, but that suddenly this inanimate thing has certain emergent classes. So we're just calling them golem classes.
All right, let's give you some examples. And I think these are important because often if you're just reading the news papers, you might see all the different demos as fundamentally different demos, different papers, different languages. But actually, you should see them all as one mega demo. So let's go with this example. Probably all of them see DALL-E 2, music video, the ability to take human language and transform it into an image. So we'll just do a simple example. We like it. Google Soup. You can translate it from language to image, and this is what the AI returns. And actually, the reason why I wanted this image in particular is that I think it helps you understand when people call these things just stochastic parrot, it really minimizes it in a way that's not quite right. So, example, soup is hot. This mascot is made out of plastic, so the AI knows that plastic goes into to another one, right? Again, this is another example of translation. So here, they took human beings, they stuck them into an fMRI machine, and they showed them images. And they taught the AI, I want you to translate from the readings of the fMRI, so how blood is moving around to the image. And we reconstruct the image then. The AI then only looks at the brain, does not get to see the original image, and it is asked to reconstruct what it sees. So when you dream, your visual cortex sort of runs in reverse. So this means certainly when I put started to put dreams. Okay, so it can like reconstruct what you're seeing, but can it reconstruct what you're thinking, your inner monologue? So here they did roughly, it's a different lab, but roughly the same idea. They had people watch these videos and would try to reconstruct their inner monologue. So here's the video. It's this woman getting hit in the back, getting knocked forward, okay? And then what did the AI reconstruct? I see a girl that looks just like me, hit in the back, okay, she's knocked off.
So just to really name that really quickly, the point about differentiating between Siri or I do voice transcription and then it kind of fails, and AI seems to like it's not really always growing or working, and like we shouldn't be really that scared about AI because it always has these problems, right? And we've always been promised, oh, AI is going to take off and do all these things. What the point of this is, I hope you're seeing that you're just translating between different languages, and everyone's now working on one system, that the scaling factor and the growth is changing in a very different way. So we swap the engine out of what's underneath the paradigm of AI, but we don't talk about it in a different way because we still have this word we call AI, when the engine underneath what is representing that has changed.
Also really important to note here, go back to that first law of technology, invented technology, uncovering your responsibility. We don't have any laws or ways of talking about the right to what you're thinking about. We haven't needed to protect that before.
So here's one other example, another language you could think about is Wi-Fi radio signals. So in this room right now, there's a bunch of radio signals that are echoing out, and that's the kind of language that's being spit out, right? And there's also another language that we could put a camera in this room, and we can see that there's some algorithms already for like, looking at the people and the positions that they're in. So imagine you hook up to an AI, sort of just like you have two eyeballs, and you sort of do stereoscopic vision between the two eyeballs. You have one eyeball looking at the images of where everybody's at in this room, how many people are here, what posture are they in. And you have another eyeball plugged into the AI that's looking at the radio signals, the Wi-Fi. And they basically said, we have it trained a bunch looking at both, and counting the number of people, the postures that they're in. And then we close the eyeball to the AI that's looking at the image. So now we just have the radio signals. And just having Wi-Fi radio signals, you can actually identify the positions and the number of people that are in the room.
Essentially, there's already deployed hardware for cameras
Remember our sisters dying every day. Remember our brothers dying every day. War every time, war everywhere. War every time, war everywhere. Look so well,
but actually,
they're in trouble
English
every
and
time.
computer code are just two different kinds of language. So,
They're in trouble every time.
GPT, find me a security
Zimbabwe,
then write
they are in trouble every time.
So,
Look Ethiopia,
what I put into
they are in trouble
describing
every time.
vulnerability, you might find
Look
the following code.
Israel, they are in trouble every time.
And then write a full
Look
script.
South Africa, they are in trouble every time. Let's fight together, let's live together.
If you have to
Remember
code the Wi-Fi
Arab,
router and you
yes,
wanted to exploit it,
every time. Let's plan
these things
together
compound on each other.
and fight for our brothers. Let's plan
All
together.
right. You guys have all probably seen deepfakes.
Africa, Africa, like Africa, Africa, like Africa, Africa.
It'll start with the real, and then at that dotted line, it'll switch to the computer auto-completing the voice.
Of people are, in 9 cases out of 10, mere spectacle reflections of the actuality of things. But they are impressions.
And so, how do we expect this to start playing out?
stood there on the floor of the sculptor's studio.
Not so far, but what there is adds up. Take Mrs. Markey's attitude, for instance. She's trying hard to play the role, but it doesn't come off. Now, does she act to you like a 4-day widow?
Well, she's got a lot to sell.
Oh, I'll say she has. I tried to goad her yesterday when I talked to her, came right out and practically insulted her. And how did she react? Never took her eyes off that main chance, the $75,000.
Well, you know, it's not exactly unheard of for a widow not to mind too much being a widow.
No, that's not the impression she gives. She's tense enough, nervous as a cat. But it's not because of grief or any feeling of relief either. It's because she's afraid she might say the wrong thing and let her puss. Another thing is that Markey's body hasn't turned up. Now, I talked to the harbor master this morning. He knows the currents along this coast backwards and forwards. He says it's the only one chance in 100 that Markey's body would have been carried out through the reef instead of thrown up on the beach about where you found that shoe.
So this is the one time in 100. That was a mighty battle, Mr. Dollar.
We're going to fight you, Mr. Wilson, if you petition the court to declare Markey legally dead.
Yes, that's what we could do. Hensley and Davis phoned me this morning and said you'd retained them as counsel.
That's right.
Well, I've been comfortable.
Expense account item 11, 10 cents. Phone call to Edmund Markey, widow of the allegedly deceased and beneficiary of his insurance policy.
Hello?
Mrs. Markey?
Yes.
This is Johnny Dollar.
Oh, I didn't recognize your voice.
I wonder if I can ask a favor of you.
Well, if it's something I can...
I'd like to borrow a photograph of your late husband for a few moments.
Well,
I'll take good care of it and make sure it gets back to you.
well, the fact is I really don't have one.
Oh, well, you must have forgotten. I noticed one yesterday afternoon on the mantel in your study.
Well, I meant not a good one.
Well, that one will do fine, and thanks a lot.
Has something new come up, Mr. Dollar?
Yes, you might say that. I'll send a messenger out to pick it up. Goodbye, Mrs. Markey. Item 12, $3.80 messenger service. Item 13, $1.90 taxi fare to the used car lot of one Truthful Tom, the dealer who'd sold a car to a man named John Smith. A car that had departed suddenly from the vicinity of the Markey Beach House when its driver saw me come out of the house. I wasn't too sure whether Tom was truthful or not. One thing was certain, he was typical.
I noticed you looking at that little gray job friend, and I say to myself, Tom, don't you go trying to get the best of that lad, because he's walked right in here and spotted the best doggone buy on the lot. Turned around.
Well, I wasn't really thinking of buying.
Friend, with the price I'll make you on that car, you can't afford not to buy it.
No, I'm not really in the market.
It's an economic society, friend. We're all in the market when the price is right.
No, I just happened to notice that it looked like the car a friend of mine had stolen it.
My dear friend, I'll make you... did you say stolen?
Well, it may not be the same one.
I've got papers on that car. I've got papers on every last car on this.
Did you have papers on the one you sold to John Smith 2 weeks ago?
If he says I didn't, he's a liar.
Oh, wait a minute, mister.
And I can get a dozen witnesses to prove it.
You remember him now? Well, do you?
Remember who?
Look, I'm a special investigator for the Delta liability.
It's a frame-up, that's all it is. Whoever it is says they got a hot car deal on this lot is lying. Tom never turned a dishonest penny in his whole doggone life.
Good, then we'll forget it.
And any low-down rat that says I did is a two-legged snake. And I... What you say?
I don't care anything about your deals. I'm trying to locate a fellow who bought a car from you.
Well, friend, that puts a different light on it. John Smith, you said?
That's the name he used.
I can't say I recollect anybody by that name.
Here's a copy of the title register.
Let's see now. 6842 Oh, that was that old clunker that... of course, it was well worth the price I was at.
You remember the buyer?
You bet your life. You know why? Because he paid cash, not a check, cash. I mean, the real long-view Missouri.
Would you recognize a photograph of it?
Well, I might if... Oh, is this it? Well, let's see.
Well?
No doubt of it, friend. That's the lad, all right.
Good evening, Mrs. Markey.
Mr. Dollar?
I brought back the photograph of your husband.
Oh, there wasn't that much hurry about it. Did it help any?
Quite a bit. Do you mind if I come in?
All right, of course.
Thank you.
You know, I've been trying to think all day long what you could possibly want with that picture. I still can't imagine.
You can, huh?
Sit down, Mr. Dollar. It's a terrible picture, of course. That's why I hesitated about giving it to you. Doesn't look a thing like him.
It looked enough like it, Mrs. Markey.
Enough like him. I don't think I know what you mean.
Did you know your husband bought a second-hand car the week before his so-called death?
You must be mistaken. He'd have told me about it.
The car dealer positively identifies his photograph. He used the name John Smith, paid for it cash.
Did you mean so-called death?
William Markey isn't dead. I think we're both aware of that. Well, Mrs. Markey, aren't we?
Do you mind telling me what you're talking about?
It wasn't even a very smart scheme to start with. Your husband must have been really up against the wall, or he'd have known better than to try. But I suppose he thought he had to in order to hang on to you. I imagine you're pretty expensive to support.
I think you'd better leave right now.
Actually, it would serve you both right if I did. But I decided to give you a chance. I came here to let you know exactly where you stand.
And where is that, if I may ask?
One step away from prison, take that step, and you're in up to your necks, you and your husband both.
What step?
So far, we have no case against you for attempted fraud because you haven't filed a claim. But take my advice, Mrs. Markey, don't file one, because the minute you do, we're going to hit you with both barrels.
You've got some pretty crazy ideas, haven't you?
Had fair warning.
I've had one of the biggest bluffs I've ever heard about. Why, you people would do anything, wouldn't you, to keep from paying off on the policy?
Better talk it over with your husband before you do anything foolish.
My husband is dead, Mr. Dollar. No one but you even doubts it.
I'm a cynic.
How much proof does it take to bring you to your senses?
Mrs. Markey, as this case stands right now, there's only one way you can convince me that William Markey is not alive. Show me his dead body.
Now, here's our star to tell you about tomorrow's intriguing episode of this week's story.
Tomorrow, a crazy kid in love, a right decision by a court, and then the whole case smashes wide open. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by Les Crutchfield. It is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Cohen speaking. From Hollywood, it's time now for
Johnny Dollar, just a moment. How are you, Mr. Dollar?
Thanks. Johnny Dollar,
Barney Wilson here. The hotel told me where to locate.
I'd rather you located that car.
All the police agencies in the state have the license number description from Turner.
Well, the sooner the better.
Take more than a car to prove William Markey is still alive.
The dealer who sold it to him identified his photograph.
All right, but he bought the car 2 weeks ago. You know he was alive at that time. In case you've forgotten, Mr. Dollar, the Fathom 5 sank only 4 days ago. That's when Markey was murdered.
Okay, we're not going to sit up by your argument.
That's why I phoned. It's supposed to settle tomorrow morning.
You petitioned for a hearing?
10 o'clock in Judge Campbell's chambers.
You're making a mistake.
See you in court, Mr. Dollar.
tonight and every weekday night. Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Smith, the Fathom 5 matter. The case of a cruiser mysteriously sunk off the Florida coast. I phoned the insurance company's legal counsel and told him that Wilson had petitioned a hearing to have William Markey declared legally dead. Then I rejoined Mrs. Markey in the study. She was tense and on edge, pacing the floor and smoking nervously. I watched her a moment without saying, fully aware of her beauty and appeal, and fully convinced also that she and her missing husband were trying to swindle my company out of $75,000 in life insurance. I felt a little sorry for Markey. She must have been a pretty expensive luxury for a man who was going broke. But then I stopped feeling sorry. I remembered that they tried to set up young Danny Haynes as the fall guy for murder.
Well, why don't you go ahead and say it?
Say what?
Whatever it is you're thinking.
I thought I'd already said it, and pretty bluntly, too.
You make some wild accusations.
Not so wild. I've got some fairly solid facts to back them up.
Apparently the DA's office doesn't agree with you. Wasn't that Mr. Wilson on the phone?
That's right.
And didn't he say he would ask the court to declare my husband legally dead?
He's going to try to, but we'll stop him cold. He hasn't got a leg to stand.
Well, that's what you're hired for, isn't it? To find some technicality so they can get out of paying off on a policy.
Attempted fraud isn't exactly a technicality, Mrs. Markey. I'll repeat that advice I just gave you. Get in touch with your husband, tell him the scheme is off, it won't work. And don't file a claim for that life insurance.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? You'd just love to bluff me out of $75,000.
No, I just kind of hate to see you go to prison, that's all. And that's exactly what is going to happen if you file that claim.
Talking about some scheme. What scheme, Mr. Dodd?
You want it laid right on the line.
I'd just like to know what you're talking about.
And just how much I've figured out. All right, I'll paint it for you in black and white. Your husband was broke, flat broke. I'm not guessing there. I got a report on him from a financial investigator in New York.
I knew nothing about his business affairs.
And I wouldn't know. Anyway, he thought he saw a chance to pull off a swindle on the basis of the only thing he had left, that $75,000 life insurance policy. So the two of you worked it out together.
Did your financial investigator tell you that? Or would you be guessing?
Your husband bought a car under an assumed name and probably rented living quarters somewhere in the area under another assumed name. So it was all set. It was just a matter of waiting for a morning when a heavy fog was down.
You have a fantastic imagination.
Meantime, just in case the accident theory didn't go over, you kept playing young Haynes along so it would seem as though he had a motive for murder. And that part was a cinch. He was already halfway in love with you.
You also have a rather nasty imagination.
So finally, 4 days ago, conditions were just right. Your husband took Haynes out on that fishing trip in the Fathom 5. He anchored the cruiser and sent Haynes off along the reef in the dinghy. Then he set fire to the boat, opened the sea cock so it would be sure to sink. He swam ashore and drove off in the car that he'd bought for exactly that purpose.
As I understand it, Mr. Dollar, that cruiser was anchored a mile or two offshore. Are you actually suggesting my husband swam that distance?
You mean that's something else you supposedly didn't know about? Oh, that report from New York is more complete than you seem to realize. William Markey has been a member of the Green Point Athletic Club for years. He won silver cups in the Long Island Sound Marathon Swim 3 different times.
I knew he belonged to the club, of course, but I assumed it was more social.
Of course he could swim that far. That particular talent was probably what gave him the idea for the whole thing.
There's no proof, you know. Not one bit of real proof.
There will be, if you try to collect that insurance. We'll turn up enough proof to reach all the way from here to the state prison. So if you try to...
Excuse me, please.
Yeah, sure.
I'll be right back.
I lit a cigarette and waited, wondering why I even bothered to come here. I was fed up and sick of the whole thing. Fraud cases are like that, messy, dirty. You see people with a mask down and you get a look inside. And you get to wondering if everybody's like that. Wondering if you'd be like that yourself, maybe, if the price were right. And if you are, you hope you never find it out. All I wanted at the moment was to leave the house, wind the thing up, and get out of town.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dollar. Somebody looking for an address. I mean, they had a wrong address. Well, I think we at least understand each other now.
Yeah, I'm sure we do.
And I can say only one thing. You're wrong. You're completely and absolutely wrong.
Maybe.
I wish you weren't. I wish my husband were still alive, even under the circumstances you believe. Maybe I wouldn't be on the verge of a nervous breakdown, trying to hold on to my sanity. Maybe I wouldn't be crying alone at night.
You have my everything you're going through.
There's no use at all in trying to talk to you, is there?
Not unless you care to tell me where to find your husband.
Good night, Mr. Donald.
I left the house and turned down the dark road toward the Pompano Beach Hotel. I'd planned to pick up a taxi there, but after that unknown visitor came to Mrs. Markey's door, I'd made a slight change in the plans. Whoever it was hadn't been a stranger, that I was sure of. She'd been too nervous when she came back into the room. It was someone she hadn't wanted me to know about, and I was pretty certain I could guess who.
Therefore, in the matter of the request made herein that William
William Markey, we declare legally it is the court's decision that the petition must be granted. If new evidence becomes available at some future time, the petition may be rescinded.
Well, looks like you won, Mr. Dollar.
I told you what would happen.
I sure do hate to see that kid get away with murder.
Oh, forget it. Markey's walking around somewhere just as alive as you or I.
Well, we've all got a right to our opinions, Mr. Dollar. I say he's floating around out there in the Atlantic somewhere.
That's what he meant for us to do.
Maybe so, but
Pardon me, Mr. Wilson. A message was phoned in for you, but they wouldn't let me into the room.
Oh, thank you, Matt. Excuse me, Mr. Dollar.
Sure. Go ahead and read it.
Did I step out of that office? Somebody's bound to start Well.
What's the matter?
Mr. Dollar, the Coast Patrol hauled a man's body out of the surf about an hour ago. Been drowned.
So?
They got a quick check on his prints. It's William Markey.
El mar y el cielo se ven igual de azules y en la distancia.
Now, here's our star to tell you about the final intriguing episode of this week's story.
Tomorrow, a dead man tells a tale, but not the tale he was meant to tell. And thereby hangs the wind-up. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by Les Crutchfield and is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
El mar y el cielo se ven igual de azules y en
From Hollywood, it's time now for
parece
Johnny Dollar.
Barney Wilson here.
All right, Mr. Wilson, I'm braced. Rub it in.
Well, you were a little overconfident.
Overconfident. Let's face it, I made a jerk of myself. After I apologize to you, I've got to crawl out there and apologize to Mrs. Markey.
I wouldn't be too hasty about it.
I've been putting it off for the last 2 hours. After the way I talked to her, I'd rather walk into a cage of lions than face her again. But I thought her husband was alive, and I thought she knew it. And your boys have to go and pull his body out of the surf.
Well, that's why I called.
I had a tag for an out-and-out insurance fraud.
Mr. Dollar, the way it looks right now, I don't know what it is.
It was probably murder. What else?
Look, if you want to lose your mind, you come on over here to the morgue.
Why? What do you mean?
Mr. Dollar, I've been a detective for 20 years, but I've never hit one before that was as crazy as this.
Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. From Special Investigator Johnny Dollar, location Miami Beach. To the Home Office, Delta Liability, Hartford, Connecticut. Assignment, the Fathom 5 matter. It happened to involve a $75,000 insurance policy. Item 17, $1.60, taxi from my hotel to the county morgue. I couldn't figure what Wilson meant. When the cruiser Fathom 5 burned and sank and William Markey's body wasn't found, I thought thought I'd spotted an attempted insurance swindle. I'd even warned Mrs. Markey not to try to file a claim. And then, a few hours ago, Markey's drowned body had been washed up on the beach. Wilson should be happy. He'd been proven right. But instead, he sounded more mixed up and uncertain than he'd been before. You know, you don't pick the pleasantest places in the world to hold conferences.
Take a look at him. So I'll be eternally blasted. I know what anybody can tell by looking. Well, there's the lad who's giving us all the trouble, Mr. Dollar. William Marquez, 423.
Let's see here. I told Mrs. Markey that the only thing that would convince me he wasn't alive would be to see his body. All right, I'm convinced. And I'll never try to outguess an ocean current again. Everything seemed to add up to
Wait a minute. I wonder how long it'll be before you notice.
Doesn't make sense.
Like I said on the phone, this one is crazy.
This was pulled out of the surf this morning.
Right.
And the cruiser sank 5 days ago. That's when Markey supposedly drowned.
You're on the beam, Mr. Dollar.
This body hasn't been in the ocean for 5 days.
Went a 4-day trip to Bermuda and a complete new wardrobe.
Have you had an autopsy?
Doc Morgan just finished it 20 minutes ago. That's why I called you. Doc wouldn't stick around himself. He went out to get them.
How long does he think Markey has been dead?
Not over 18 hours since sometime last night. Looks like we were both right. Whatever good it is. He was alive after the sinking, just like you claimed, and now he's dead, just like I claimed.
What was the cause of death?
Drowning. You haven't heard the real crazy one yet.
Why? What do you mean?
You remember we found one of his shoes washed in a couple days ago?
Yeah.
The body was wearing 2 shoes when they pulled it out.
They always make one slip.
A couple in this case. It's the second one that nearly pushed Doc Morgan off his rocket.
What second?
Marky was drowned, all right. Not in the ocean. It was fresh water in his lungs, not seawater.
Was Morgan sure?
Swore by it, and then at it.
Imagine. When you get an 18-hour test of the man who was supposed to have been dead for 5 days and find fresh water when it ought to be salt. It's too late, Mr. Markey can't tell us much of anything else.
So, where do we go from here, Mr. Dollar?
Good question. You haven't found the car yet, huh? The one Markey bought under an assumed name?
No. Give the boys an extra crowd to bear down on him. Have the town force up looking for him now.
Wonder where he was hiding out for those 4 days.
What I want to know is who killed him and how and why.
Why is fairly easy. It's the who and how that carry the question marks. That fingerprint ID was certain. There's not the slightest doubt of what this is, William Markey.
Oh, you're looking for an easy way out, Mr. Dollar.
Yeah, I guess I am at that. Well, then it looks like our number one is the lad you've been after all along.
Get him down again.
What do you say we go and have a talk? Only one thing was wrong with the idea. It didn't work. Haynes wasn't in, and the clerk at his hotel said he hadn't seen him all day. The night clerk admitted that he'd slept through most of his shift and wasn't sure of anything. We searched Haynes' room and found nothing. So for the moment, we left it at that. Wilson put a stake out in the hotel and went back to his office. I went to my hotel and waited. Johnny Dollar.
Barney Wilson.
Yeah, what's up?
We finally got a break. The boys found that car.
Where?
Parked at the curb out on the east side of town. May have been abandoned there, or it may be where Marky was hiding out. In front of an apartment house.
Have they checked through it yet?
No, they haven't touched it. You can go out there now. Want me to swing by and pick you up?
If you don't, I'll sue you. I'll meet you up in front of the hotel. We stopped a block away and walked up to the apartment house. The car was still parked at the curb, and the plainclothesman watching it said no one had been near it. We went on inside and found the landlady, identified ourselves, and started questioning her. Luck seems to still be with us.
Well, you see, most of my guests are permanent, you might say. Or at least as permanent as renters ever are.
Yes, we understand.
In fact, the only unit I've let in the last 2 months is number 14. That's up one flight about 10 days ago. He paid a month's rent in advance.
What was his name?
Mr. Jones. A very nice, quiet, middle-aged fella.
He live by himself?
Oh, yes. Never went out much. After he moved in, that is. He didn't stay here for the first 4 or 5 days after he rented it.
Like the travel house.
When did you see Mr. Jones last?
Well, it's a funny thing. He went out yesterday evening and he didn't come back at all.
What kind of a car did he drive?
Oh, good heavens, I don't know. But you can look for yourself. It's parked out there at the curb. A friend of his brought it by a while ago.
What?
What's the friend's name?
Why, I didn't ask him. He's an awful nice young fella. He said Mr. Jones was going on a trip and sent him to pick up his belongings. And he had Mr. Jones's key, so I decided it was all right. He's up there packing now.
Better take it easy. It's hard to tell what to expect. All right, try the knob. Easy. Locked. There isn't much choice.
Open up, Haynes. We want to talk to you. I said open up.
Watch it, Wilson.
Warning you, don't try to come in.
We know now what to expect.
I'll cover the door here, Dollar. You go down and tell Dave to cover the outside windows and call in for a couple of squad cars.
Hey, he's going out that window. There must be a fire escape.
Let's hit the door.
There he is at the bottom of the fire escape.
Hold it, Haynes. All right, Haynes, it's up to you. Throw down that gun or I'll drop you. Sorry, kid.
Second shot was dead set.
I know. I tried to blow it on him, but it jumped up on me.
Well, he said he'd die for her if it came to that.
It came to that.
It was after dark when Wilson and I drove out to the Marquee Beach house. There were no lights on, but nobody answered the doorbell. So Wilson forced entrance, and we shook the place down. We found evidence of a struggle in the study and in the bathroom. Water from the bathtub had overflowed behind the tile and was still seeping out along the basement. We found a dressing gown of Mrs. Markey stuffed in the back of a closet, soaking wet. Piece by piece, Wilson collected his evidence. The picture became more and more clear. He phoned in for a fingerprint crew and went on working. I left him there and went back into town to my hotel and took the elevator up to my room. What are you doing here?
Waiting for you. They've got extras out. They say the police shot Danny Haynes. I thought maybe you could tell me what it's all about.
Sure. What you mostly want to know is how much he talked before he died. Isn't that it, Mrs. Markey?
What you mean?
Then go on out to your house and ask Wilson. He's out there with a fingerprint crew. And I imagine he can tell you anything you want to know by now. I slipped up last night. I thought it was Haynes who came to your door. But it wasn't. It was your husband. And you told him to come back later. Then when I left, you called Haynes and had him come over.
If he said that, he lied.
I even gave you the idea for it myself. When I said the only thing that could convince me your husband wasn't alive would be to see his dead body. So you talked Haynes into helping you provide the evidence I said I'd have to have.
My husband's body was found in the ocean. They told me that this evening.
Yeah, but he didn't die there. He was drowned in the bathtub at your house, and you and Haynes did it.
You're out of your mind. Danny Haynes was alive.
Then go tell Wilson. It's his job now, not mine. Maybe you'll be able to convince him, but I doubt it. And I'm pretty sure you won't be able to convince a jury.
You think not? I'll get the best lawyer money can buy.
Yeah, you do that, Mrs. Markey, but don't plan on using any of that insurance money for it.
Why not?
Because there won't be any. That policy was already void when you and Haynes killed your husband last night. An attempted fraud cancels a policy the minute it's committed. In other words, Mrs. Markey, 5 days ago when your husband sank the Fathom 5 and tried to play dead. You've lost out all the way around, Mrs. Markey. Your husband, your boyfriend, your insurance claim. And now you stand a pretty good chance of losing your life. A 4-time loser. That's really a record. Expense account item 18, $321.60. Hotel and incidentals in Miami and transportation back to Hartford. Expense account total $684.95. End of account, end of report. Remarks? You quoted a line of Shakespeare at the start of this case, Ralph. Full fathom 5, thy father lies. Well, you're wrong. It turns out to be the widow who lies. And lies. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Remember, there'll be another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, beginning next Monday night.
Next week. Well, if I'd minded my own business, I wouldn't have heard the girl beg for help. And from that point on, I needed help. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by Les Crutchfield. It is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in this week's cast were Mary Jane Croft, Barney Phillips, Carlton Young, Eleanor Audley, Sam Edward, Shep Menken, and John Daner. Musical supervision by Amerigo Marino. Be sure to join us on Monday night, same time and station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This is Roy Rowan speaking.
Los pasos del puma por la montaña, el peumo y el litre del suelo germinan y con su semilla retornan la vida. Que el hombre pequeño despierte en su sueño, de vuelta al origen, de vuelta a los leños, fuentes de la tierra.
Oh, yes, Mr. Costello. I'm acting priest in Seaport Casualty Insurance, your investigation. I understand you had a burglary down there.
We sure did, Mr. Dollar.
Well, the main reason I wanted to talk to you, Mr. Costello, was to let you know I'm getting the first plane out of Hartford as soon as the weather clears.
You're coming here to Vicksburg?
Yes, that's right. Eastern Seaboard Casualties asked me to investigate the burglary for them.
Good. Then I'll expect you when I see you.
And I'll be there.
America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Chief Accountant, Eastern Seaboard Casualty Insurance Company, Providence, Rhode Island. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the plant agent matter. Expense account item 1, $2, cab fare, my apartment to the Hartford airport. Item 2, $173. One airline ticket from Hartford to Vicksburg, Virginia, and back again. We took off in 10 below zero weather about 1:30 in the afternoon. By 5 o'clock, we circled into Vicksburg for a landing. Item 3, $5, cab fare to the Plantation Hotel, 3 miles outside of town. A pleasant, spacious, gentle old building set back among the wintry trees. 15 minutes after checking in, Mr. Costello appeared, wrung my hand, and reported that the Vicksburg police had apprehended the burglar who had rifled the hotel safe the night before. All of the loot had been recovered. As a matter of form, I spent 2 hours with the police itemizing the stolen property, which was all intact. Then I returned to the hotel, assured Mr. Costello that everything would be all right, and got busy trying to make return reservations for Hartford.
Si somos irmãos,
Now, the rest of this report is by way of apologies for my tardiness in submitting the expense account. In between phone calls to the airport, I went downstairs to the bar for a drink, and then stepped outside for a walk and a breath of fresh air. In the back of the parking lot behind the hotel, a blonde woman about 30 in a green suit was talking to a tall, tippy, dark man who had his back to me. They were arguing about something. As I walked past them, I couldn't help hearing too well.
Please help me.
You talking to me?
Yes, please.
Will you wait, mister? This is private. You hear me?
Just keep your hands to yourself, bud.
Well, keep rolling then. We're having a little argument in private.
Please, I don't know who you are, but
Shut up. He's had a little too much to drink, mister, that's all.
Oh, that's so. But it doesn't look that way to me. Now, what's this all about?
I just told you in those days he's had a little too much to drink. But go on, bud, get on your way.
Wait a minute, I told you to keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah.
Honey, you want to keep it up? You hear me?
Yes. I hear you. Just as once.
Que vem cá de dentro, a nossa terra está
Come on, beat it, you.
Now listen,
Beat it, I said. She's tired of you, and so am I. Go on, beat it.
Okay. Just remember, Amy, I was only trying to talk some sense into you. So long.
Olha aquela mamá, já não tem lágrima, já não tem lamento. A nossa terra está a morrer. Angola é tão grande, tão rica e tão linda, que dá pra todos nós.
I'll never get
E pra
accustomed to
quem ama Angola.
Oh, well, he didn't look like your type anyhow. So why not you just... Hey,
This is just the end of everything.
Angola é tão bela,
I know.
tão rica e tão linda, que dá pra todos nós. E pra quem ama Angola.
Must look rather cheap and dingy. I mean, I don't know what I mean.
Well, look, let me ask you something. Did you really have too much to drink tonight?
No, I only had one drink.
All right, then maybe you let me buy you one. How about it? You look like you should be with someone for a while right now. So what do you say?
Angola é tão linda, tão rica e tão grande, que dá pra todos nós e pra quem ama Angola.
And that's the way it began, in the parking lot outside of the Plantation Hotel in Vicksburg, Virginia. She trembled a little when I let her back inside to the warmth of the bar and sat her down at the booth. Looking back on it now, I guess we had a rather strained, one-sided conversation. She did all the listening and seemed preoccupied with her problems, whatever they were. Even though I'm not the greatest wit in the world, I did manage to get a faint smile out of her. It was a nice smile, a warm, frank mouth. Item 4, 2 drinks for us.
That's cute.
Hey, see there? Next thing you know, you'll be telling me a joke. Oh, that reminds me another one. It's one of the oldest and most respected jokes in the country. You probably heard it 1,000 times. It seems 10 men were standing in the rain under an umbrella, and none of them got wet. Well, just about then, a fellow walked up.
You've been very, very kind to me. Thank you again.
Well, I'm glad you feel better. Miss,
Are you, from here in Vicksburg?
No, my home's in Hartford, Connecticut. I flew down here this afternoon on business. I'm waiting for a flight out.
Oh. What's your name?
Johnny Dollar.
Thank you again, Johnny Dollar. Thank you for not asking me my name. For not asking me about the man in the parking lot. For not asking me to explain what my trouble is. Thank you, Mr. Dollar. And thank you for sitting here with me this little while and trying to make me laugh.
You really feel all right now, huh?
Yes, I think so.
Good, that's swell. Because I wouldn't want to let you go if I thought you were going to step outside and start crying again.
No. No, I won't do that, I promise.
You sure?
Positive.
Okay. Now, you want one more for the road?
Thank you, but I'd better not, Mr. Dollar. I really should be getting home.
Will everything be all right at home?
What? Oh, yes. He wasn't my husband. Or my boyfriend, even. He won't bother me.
Okay, then. with your coat.
Thank you.
There you are. You have a car?
No, I'll get a cab. There's always one out front.
Good, I'll help you. Say, look, I'm going to tell you something. I'm staying here in Vicksburg at the Plantation, and I doubt if I'll be able to get a plane out tonight. Probably not until tomorrow sometime. So look, if you need me for any reason at all, why don't you just call me, okay?
Thank you.
Good. Cab, taxi. You're still worried about him, aren't you?
Why do you say that?
The way you looked around when we stepped outside here just now. Would you like me to see you home?
Oh, no, thank you. You've done enough already. And about him, I made a mistake, that's all.
Oh, we all make mistakes, so forget about it.
Well, I'm afraid this one can't be corrected very easily. But here's my cab. Good night, Mr. Dawson.
Good night.
You and I will probably never meet again. But I shan't forget your kindness. Thank you.
Okay, good night.
Downtown, please. I hope you have a nice trip home, Mr. Dollar.
Hey, oh, driver, hold it. Anything wrong? What is it?
I don't know. I have the strangest feeling.
Wait a minute, driver. You feel all right? You're shivering.
I know what? Oh, it hurts.
What hurts?
It hurts. I didn't think he...
What is it? What can I do?
Please, Mr. Dollar. Help me.
Let's go, driver. She fell back across the seat of the cab, writhing with pain. I took her in my arms and tried to find out what it was. By that time, she wasn't able to speak. In another 10 seconds, she was unconscious. The cab driver delivered us to an emergency hospital 5 minutes later. They carried her in through the ambulance entrance. I let the driver go and waited around the desk to see if I could learn what happened. Just waited.
Vicksburg emergency.
Waited.
One moment, please. Go ahead, please. Vicksburg emergency. Not at this time of the night, sir. You'll have to call first thing in the morning. I'd suggest any time after 7:30. Yes, sir. Yes?
Hey, look, would it be all right to go back and talk to the doctor now?
I'm afraid not, sir.
Well, could you bring him out here? I've been waiting for quite...
I'm sure he'll be out in a very short while. He knows you're waiting to talk with him.
I thought maybe he forgot me.
No, sir.
I just want to make sure she's all right.
The doctor will be out. Vicksburg emergency. Just a moment, I'll connect you. Go ahead, please. Has she had many of these attacks?
Oh, I don't know. I just met her.
Oh. Well, if you'd like, we could call you at home and let you know how she is.
This isn't my home. I'm on my way out of town as soon as I get a plane. I'll wait.
Certainly. Excuse me. Yes, doctor. Yes, he's right here. Yes, sir. The doctor will see you now, sir.
Good, thanks.
End of the hall. Room 111.
Okay, thank you. I don't know what it was or why that hallway looked so long. Call it an old-fashioned premonition or what have you. That's what I had walking down the hall to see a doctor about a girl I'd known only a few minutes. There were 3 people in the room, 2 doctors in their white clothes and a nurse. I can still see the light burning above their heads, the way they looked tired, exhausted. All 3 of them had been working very hard. Doctor? That's right, how is she? When did this happen? About a half hour ago, I put her in a cab at the Plantation Hotel and she complained of feeling sick. So I brought her here, but she lost consciousness in the cab. Sit down, please. Oh, why? Some papers we want you to fill out, just routine. Oh. Your name, please? Johnny Dollar. And she is Mrs. Dollar? No. Oh, I see. Your friend of hers, Mr. Dollar. But yes. Look, what is it, Doctor? What's the matter with her? I can't exactly tell you that right now, Mr. Dollar. What? Well, now, wait a minute. Why can't... We have to contact her family first, Mr. Dollar. This girl is dead. Now, if you're willing. Picture it. Yourself in my position. I'd known the girl only a few minutes. I didn't even know her name. that somehow I'd become closely involved with her. Too much so, I guess. All I knew about her was that she was someone who had died while asking me to help her. Under the circumstances, what would you do?
This week's story.
Tomorrow, how can you help a dead girl? Somebody had to help her. And guess who? Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by John Dawson. It is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, Roy Rowland.
Stop getting lazy with me for a minute. Maybe you can tell me who she was.
Why?
Because I'd like to talk to her family. I was the last one to see her alive. Who is she?
We haven't identified her yet. To us, she's still chained up.
Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of a man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. By Special Investigator Johnny Dollar. Location, Vicksburg, Virginia. To Special Investigator Johnny Dollar. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the plantation matter. A real mystery about a very mysterious girl who happened to be dead. Expense account item 5, 10 cents. One morning newspaper, which carried a 2-inch story and a half-inch space about an unidentified girl who had died in Vicksburg Emergency Hospital the previous evening. I was reading it over in the lobby of the Plantation Hotel when one of the Vicksburg police force stepped up to the desk and asked for my room. He was a swarthy man in a black suit, plain clothes. Well,
I beg pardon?
I'm Johnny Dollar.
Oh. Jim Akins. We talked on the phone a little while ago.
You said you were sending a car.
You sounded so happy about everything, I thought I'd drop over myself to say hello. I got the car outside.
Okay, let's go.
Where you from, Dollar?
Hartford, Connecticut. I'm an insurance investigator. Look, I talked to a man in your burglary division yesterday about the burglary they had
cocktail lounge over there and you had a drink or two.
One.
No name, no address, no nothing. Now maybe we better do a hot dog downtown.
Anything you say.
Let's go.
Higgins turned out to be a lieutenant. It took him the whole ride downtown to thaw out and make up his mind that I was just as concerned about what had happened to the unidentified girl as he was. He rephrased, but asked me the same question in front of Mr. Norton. He was still asking me questions when he led me and the police stenographer to the basement of the building.
She didn't say anything to you about herself before she collapsed, huh?
No, all I know is what I told you.
You're sure?
Positive. Hey, look, let me ask you one. I put up with yours for over an hour now. What killed her? Well, you know.
No, we're still trying to find out. What'd you talk about while you were having that drink?
She asked me for help, that's all. It seemed she needed somebody else to do the talking at the time, so I did it. I made jokes and tried to get her to laugh. I was a great big cut-up.
Get salty if you want. It won't do much good. This is the good.
Yes,
You're positive. Okay, now you want to send this to the record. Yes. All right, Sam, you can send this on upstairs. We'll be up pretty soon. Now, Dollar, did anyone there at the hotel bar seem to know her? Cocktail waitress, somebody like that?
I don't know.
Well, I do. We asked around, no one there had ever seen her on the plantation. Dolly, you ever worked on one like this? Okay, then I'm gonna tell you what we're next. All the clothes she was wearing were standard brands. Mostly come from stores downtown. Some of them. It'll take us a long time to check them out. We're not able to trace them at all. We're gonna work on the cleaning marks too, and that'll take time. Now, from what you say and from what she said, and that wasn't much, she's probably a local. Somebody's wondering about her. Nobody come in and they got a report asking for it. I hate to do it. I might have to take a picture. Run it in tonight's paper. Just find out who she is.
It'd be pretty lousy for somebody.
It's a lousy thing. I thought you could help me, darling. Well, two things. One, that bird you was with. He was arguing with out in the parking lot. You say that meant he must have had a car. But you didn't bother to take a look. No. And another thing now, where's her mind? Well, she must have probably noticed when she sat down and had that drink. She must have reached for a cigarette or something in that drink. So where's that?
I don't know.
You see how much help you are? Don't just say More, Lieutenant. Oh yeah, put him on.
While Lieutenant Higgins talked to the telephone, I lit a cigarette. After that, I tried to interest myself in a calendar that was hanging on the wall. After that, I tried tying both shoelaces. But wherever my eyes rolled around that white tile room, somehow, they always came back to rest in the quiet, still form of the girl who asked me to be. By any standard, she was attractive. Fine, golden hair spun out of smooth white skin. I remember her eyes had been very big and very brown. Now they were closed. But she looked more asleep than what she was. She looked as though she might wake up any minute and answer me if I said out loud what I was saying to myself. How could I help it?
That was the lab on the phone. Had a little trouble with analysis.
What analysis? What kind of trouble?
Identifying. They called in a toxicologist from the university. A drug called perimethol killed her.
Perimethol? That's a new one on me.
Me too. Petrol-based stuff. Now they figured it'd been in her stomach an hour or so before she collapsed. Could be a suicide, judging the way she acted and talked to you.
What about the boyfriend?
Well, that seems to fit in okay. Told you she was disappointed in him, didn't she? Well, sometimes women want to end it all in front of a guy they're having trouble with. He'll probably turn out.
Oh, you talk like a cop, Higgins.
That's what I am.
Everything's so Simple. Make it fit into your formula. This girl knocked herself off because she lost her boyfriend. This girl killed herself because she lost her job. Fill it in. Get it off the books.
Whoa, Dollar, whoa, what's the matter with you? What are you getting at?
Oh, I don't forget it.
No, now, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. I'm not all cop, Dollar. I saw her laying there, too. I can see she was a nice girl. Something went awful wrong with her. If I'd been the last one to be with her and talk to her alive, why, I'd probably be taking it the same way you were. But take it easy.
Sorry, Lieutenant.
I'll buy you some breakfast.
He did, but it didn't help much. And after that, we shook hands and parted. Expense account item 6, $2. Cab fare back to the Plantation Hotel. I went up to my room, packed my bags, called the airport, and made arrangements to leave on the 6 o'clock plane. There's nothing more I could do about the case. Nothing more at all. It was police business. I had time before the plane for a quiet drink at the hotel bar.
What's your pleasure, sir?
Oh, some of that little water.
Yes, sir.
You on duty last night, by any chance?
Yes, sir. Why you ask?
I just wondered if you happen to remember me.
No, sir. You at the bar?
That table over there with the lady, a blonde girl in a green suit.
Sorry, I just don't remember. Oh, here you go.
Thanks. Here.
I probably waited on you, but so many people, you know.
Yeah, sure.
Why you ask?
The lady lost her purse. Thought maybe it might have been turned in here.
No, sir. We didn't get any places last night. A couple money clips is all. Not much in them either. You're talking about the lady who died in the
Yeah, I am.
police officers was in here asking the same questions.
I thought they would be.
You, policeman too?
No, I was a friend of hers.
Well, then you should call the police. They're still trying to find out her name.
So am I.
I thought you said she was a friend of yours.
I didn't happen to know her name. It didn't seem important to ask it last night.
I just don't understand.
I can tell you one thing. I might have saved her life if I'd asked her name. Some other things.
Yes, sir.
Expense account item 7, $3, 3 drinks. I sat there for almost an hour talking to the bartender. Once, when he stepped out to the kitchen, I went over to the booth where I'd sat the night before with the unidentified dead girl. I searched down on the cushions behind the table, under the chairs, hoping the missing purse might still be around. I found nothing. I had another idea. I left, went out to the parking lot where I'd first seen her.
Got your car, mister?
No, I don't have one.
Oh, well?
Hey, look, last night I was out here with a lady. I met her and a man here in the parking lot. About over there, where that Chevy is.
So what?
Well, the lady lost her purse last night. I just wondered if it might have been lost out here.
Well, it might have been. Nobody turned anything into me. Want to take a look?
Sure.
What time last night?
Oh, around 10. Maybe a few minutes after.
A lot of cars in and around that time of night. Did you look last night?
I didn't know it was missing until this morning.
Here you say, huh? Here's the Chevy.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look.
Yeah, let me get a good one.
Hey! That's the girl up.
Huh?
Yeah, here's the purse. Hey, you're in real luck. Is that hers?
It was hers, all right. A green suede purse, the same color as the green suit she'd been wearing. It still carried the faint sweet odor of her perfume as I remembered it. I looked inside, but there was nothing to tell me her name. Lipstick, comb, a $10 bill, and some small change. And one other item. A .32 automatic, recently fired.
Now, here's our star to tell you about tomorrow's intriguing episode of this week's story.
Tomorrow, a dead girl's .38 automatic comes to life. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood, written by John Dawson. It is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure and join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rose speaking.
Virginia. Purpose? Well, it all started as an investigation of a burglary at the Plantation Hotel. Once that was out of the way, I happened to run across a girl having an argument with a man in the hotel parking lot. She asked me to help her. I did. The girl suddenly gets sick and dies. Poison. I stay around to help find out who she is. I don't know that. But I do know that she had a .38 in her purse. 3 bullets recently fired. Expense account item 8, $2 cab fare from the Plantation Hotel, the 2 miles into Vicksburg City Hall, and room 220 as per instructions of Sergeant Peters. I felt more than a little guilty bypassing Lieutenant Jim Akins, who had questioned me earlier about the case. Yes? Sergeant Peters? That's right. Can we help us? I hope so. I'd like to know if this gun's been registered with you people. Let's have a look. You just fine? Yeah. Got your bill of sale with you? Do you have to have one? You should. Who'd you buy it from? Oh, a fellow I met in the bar. Have you a permit to carry this weapon? Oh, no, I haven't. Are you going to carry? Oh, no. Then why'd you buy it? Just wanted it, that's all. Is there a law against that? No. But there's a law against practically every other thing about a gun. You want to read those numbers off? Sure. JJJ-4769. 992. And then there's an X. Okay. Make. Caliber. 38. Automatic. Here, you'll have to fill this out. Pencil's over there. This will take a minute for me to check. It took 15 minutes. In the meantime, I filled out the form, which notified the Vicksburg police that I was in possession of the above described weapon, that I did not wish to apply for a permit to carry it, and so forth and so on. After that, I stood around and smoked a cigarette, wondered if I should step downstairs and tell Lieutenant Jim Akins that I had found Jane Doe's purse and the gun. But before I had time to make up my mind... Here we go. The gun was purchased in 1950 by the Piedmont Banking Service. That's a local armored truck outfit over on Maple Street. The gun was permitted for carrying to Raymond W. O'Connell, 232 Oak Street. Thanks. Raymond O'Connell? Yeah. Anything else? That's all. Thanks. That was when I could have, but didn't, walk downstairs to Lieutenant Aiken's office. Instead, I walked outside with a gun in my pocket and a slip of paper containing the name and address of the man who had carried it, Raymond O'Connell. Expense account item 9, $25. Deposit on a rented car to get me to 232 Polk Street.
Oh, Paul, darling, you're early. I'm hardly ready.
Oh,
I was expecting someone else. I'm so sorry. You're not Paul, are you?
I'm afraid not. My name's Johnny Dollar.
Oh. Mr. Dollar?
That's right.
Well, what can I do for you, Mr. Dollar?
I'm looking for Raymond O'Connell.
Ray?
Yes.
Come inside, Mr. Dollar. I really didn't mean to throw myself at you at the door. I thought you were someone else unexpected. I'm Terry.
Terry?
Teresa. Terry O'Connell, Mr. Dollar.
Oh, his wife?
I'm Ray's widow.
What?
Ray's dead, Mr. Dollar. Passed away over a year ago. With pneumonia.
I'm sorry, Mrs. O'Connell.
Please call me Terry. You had no way of knowing about him, I'm sure. Please don't be uncomfortable. A great many of Ray's friends from the service come by who have no idea that he's dead. Were you in his company too?
Oh, just a minute, Mrs. O'Connell. I
He
think
had
you're...
so many friends and met so many people while he was in the service, and really there was no way for you to know.
You don't understand, Mrs. O'Connell. I
I'll
never
get
knew.
you a drink and we'll talk. Where did you serve with Ray? You know he finally became a pilot. What do you like to drink?
She was young, dark, and very pretty. And as the widow of a man who died rather suddenly, she was doing her best to put me at my ease. I would have told her I was there checking out the registration on the 38 that had been used by her dead husband. I would have told her I found the gun in the purse of an unidentified dead girl I'd met the night before. But she was trying to be polite, mistaking me for a friend of her dead husband. And then I saw the picture in the frame on the mantel. A broad, smiling face belonged to a man I'd met in the parking lot of the Plantation Hotel. An unidentified man who had been arguing with the dead girl. The words on the picture said, "To Terry, all my love."
Paul?
Paul?
Yeah. Paul.
I think I met him once. I really didn't know his name. Was he a friend of your husband, Ray's?
No, he never knew. Paul is a real darling. After Ray died, I tried something very foolish. I tried to end my life. And then Paul came. He's been very lovely to me. We're... I don't know why I shouldn't tell you. We're going to be married.
I think that's fine, Terry.
Do you really?
Sure.
I'm glad you say that. I'm not the most courageous person in the world. I suppose Ray mentioned our lives together. It was perfect with Ray, Mr. Dollar. Perfect. Now Ray's gone. And I've been able to face that. I think I'm going to find a new life with Paul. You must meet him. He'll be here soon. We're down in Ireland. Perhaps you'll join us.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. O'Connell, but I can't make it tonight.
How long will you be in Pittsburgh?
I don't know exactly.
Where are you staying?
Plantation Hotel.
Perhaps I could give you a ring and we could make it another night. I know you want to talk about me. Of course, Paul understands.
I'm sure he does.
He's a truly wonderful person.
He hadn't looked very wonderful the night before, standing in the parking lot arguing with a girl who had died. But then there was my side of the picture. That wasn't complete. And somebody still had to explain the 38 with the 3 bullets missing. I left Terry O'Connell, went outside, bought an evening paper, and then sat in my rented car reading it. The photographer at the morgue had done a good job. The unidentified girl's picture was on page 1. I was reading the story over a second time when a dark business coupe pulled up behind me, and Paul Dameron got out, heading for Terry O'Connell's doorway. Just a minute. Just a minute. Oh, Paul. You?
What's it to? Okay. Amy Duran.
Amy Duran.
Yeah. Work in the same office. Now, look, Buster, I'm not afraid of you, but I don't want any trouble. So if you'll just go somewhere else and
Wait a minute, will you? How does Amy Duran tie in with Teresa O'Connor?
Look, I don't know who you are or what you're after, but you've certainly got your nerve about me. Amy's sister.
I don't know.
Who are you, anyhow? A policeman or something?
My name is Johnny Dollar. I'm here
Because if you aren't, I want to know what right you have to ask me all these questions.
Cool off, will you? I've been trying to find out who she is. Because last night after you went off, we had a drink together. Then she got sick and I took her to a hospital. She died there. She died. She's lying in the morgue right now, unidentified. With some kind of poison. Police are trying to identify her right now.
There's a way out. She could have solved it without this.
Way out of what?
There was no need for her to do this. I told her I'd help her. I had no idea she... Does Terry know?
Not yet.
I've got to tell her before she sees it like this in the newspaper. I apologize for the way I was last night. I was upset. I can see now you're trying to help. Now, let me go in and break this to Terry. Call me later. Here, my card. Call me.
I had to admit that Paul Dameron's concern seemed as genuine as his surprise. He rushed up to be admitted to the O'Connell house. After he was inside the door, I went back to my car and took out the .38 automatic that had led me to the sister of Amy O'Connell. 3 bullets still missing. I drove downtown to the Vicksburg police station to turn the gun into Lieutenant Akins and tell him the whole story as I know it. How I'd found the gun in the dead girl's purse. How I'd managed to find out her name. The 3 missing bullets and other unanswered questions were up to the police.
Yeah, well, oh, hi, Dollar. Thought you'd let down. Joe? All right, Joe. As soon as they clear that place up, you notify the lad.
Hi, Lieutenant. I'm trying to get to you. I think I have something that better be looked into.
Oh, really? Yeah? Yeah, well, in about 15 minutes. Right. I'm sorry, Dollar. What was you saying?
Why all the hustle? Something big?
Oh, homicide. Happened yesterday sometime.
Yeah? Who got it?
A guy named Belden. Somebody shot him 3 times with a .38. Now, here's our star to tell you about tomorrow's intriguing episode of this week's story.
Tomorrow, information about the gun that blows the whole case sky high. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by John Dawson, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking. From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
This is Mr. Oldfield calling. You've left word at my office, Mr. Dollar.
That's right, Mr. Oldfield. I think I'm going to need an attorney. Withholding evidence. Murder.
Let's take the murder first. Who did it?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I have the murder weapon in my possession right now.
Who was killed?
A man named Belden, I think.
What do you want me to do, sir?
Take my statement, notarize it, give me some legal advice.
Where are you?
Police station in the pay booth down the hall from homicide.
I'll meet you there in 5 minutes.
Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar. Location, Vicksburg, Virginia. To Special Investigator Johnny Dollar for personal reasons. Attention, Chief Accountant, Eastern Seaboard Casualty Insurance Corporation, Providence, Rhode Island. Dear Jim, I'm attaching my own expense sheet to your bill for clarification purposes. Expense account item 10, 10 cents. 1 cup of coffee at the counter in the lobby of the Vicksburg Police Station while I waited for Samuel W. Oldfield, attorney at law, to appear. He was there in exactly 5 minutes.
Dollar?
That's right.
Sam Oldfield. You're the only one here in the lobby, so I figured you were the right man.
Cup of coffee, Mr. Oldfield?
Those days keep me hot. Now sit down, will you? That was a pretty interesting phone call. Tell me, who are you?
Johnny Dollar. I'm a private insurance investigator.
How'd you get my name?
I looked it up in the yellow pages of the telephone directory.
You don't live here in Vicksburg?
No, I'm from Hartford, Connecticut.
All right, sir. Now, tell me about the murder and the withholding of information.
Maybe I better start from the top.
Go right ahead, any way you like.
Well, 2 days ago, I flew down here to investigate a small burglary at the Plantation Hotel. It was already solved by the time my plane got in.
Relief?
Yeah. I had nothing better to do, so I waited around the hotel bar for my return reservation back to Hartford. Then I happened to walk outside of the parking lot for a breath of fresh air. I saw a woman and a man standing there arguing. When I got close to them, the woman asked me to help her. I did.
How do you mean?
Well, the man she was with started to act like a kid. He got rough. So I shoved him away.
Go on.
Well, the woman was upset. So I took her inside the hotel and brought her a drink. After that, I put her in a cab and started to send her on her way. She started to act sick about that.
Wait. Is this the woman whose picture was in the paper tonight? The one who died of poison. Police don't know who she is.
Yeah. I don't know who she is, Mr. Oldfield. Except that her name's Amy Duran. I found out her name because I found her purse. There was a gun in it. A .38 Colt registered to a man named O'Connell. I checked on the gun here at headquarters, went out to the address and found out O'Connell was a bank guard and had died about a year ago. I talked to his wife, Teresa O'Connell. While I was there, the man I'd seen the night before showed up. His name's Paul Dameron. I didn't tell him or Mrs. O'Connell about the gun. I came down here to give it to the police and tell them. But when I got here, Lieutenant Akins was pretty busy trying to solve the murder of a man named Belden, who'd been shot with a .38 3 times. There are 3 slugs missing from the gun I found.
You got a light? You found Amy Duran's purse. Why didn't you turn it over to the police?
Oh, I thought well, somehow I thought maybe I could help her. I mean, her last words before she died were, help me. And for some reason or other, I thought maybe I could.
Do you have any cards or letters, anything like that? Something that says you're what you say you are?
Yeah, sure.
Let's see. Okay, Dollar. Now, as I see it, you probably hooked up with someone who did some shooting. That's what worries you.
I want you to take my statement and notarize it before I turn the gun.
That'll protect your son. They want to get nasty. They can, though. You know that. Well, as I see it, the main job here is to try to keep you out of trouble. And a statement explaining your motive for participation in the program might help.
That's why I called you.
All right. Now. All right. Now, you didn't shoot anybody.
No.
Okay. Let's go over to my office.
38 I found in Amy Duran's purse was still in my pocket. Your words were still in my mind. Please.
Thought you was going back to the hospital, Dollar.
Oh, I decided to hang around and see what came up.
Nothing so far on the girl. No one's recognized the picture in the paper. Had to turn that over to missing person. This murder case gonna eat up all my time.
What happened, Lieutenant?
A maid at the apartment house where this man Belden was staying found him late this afternoon. He'd been dead about 24 hours. Doctor 38.
You sure?
I'm sure. We did a postmortem right away. It's a pretty sad case.
You know who shot him?
Have a pretty good idea. See, this Belden, he was an auditor working on some books for firm of textile wholesalers. Richmond Limited. The papers scattered around his apartment show he found a $10,000 shortage going over their books. And the chief accountant for this Richmond company is missing.
Well, that does make it seem pretty clean.
And all we have to do is find that accountant. Had an APB out for half an hour now. I think we'll pick her up pretty soon.
Her? Who?
Well, her, Dollar. The chief accountant for Richmond Limited. She's a woman. Name of, Amy Duran.
To all appearances, Amy Duran had been guilty of embezzling money and murdering the auditor Belden who had discovered the shortages in her books. I didn't tell Aikens that his suspect was the girl lying in the morgue at the moment unidentified. I knew that it was only a matter of minutes before her sister or Paul Dameron would be down to identify her. And for the third time, I didn't tell Lieutenant Aikens about the gun. I knew if I turned that over to him, it would be a closed case all around. And somehow I didn't want it closed on Amy Duran. Not that way. For that reason, I went back to my hotel room for a couple of hours. Then about 9 o'clock that night, I found myself over on Polk Street at Teresa O'Connell's house once more. Hello, Mrs. O'Connell.
Mr. Dolly.
Yes.
Mr. Dollar, I have most awful news tonight. My sister Amy, she's dead. You'll have to excuse me. I'm sorry.
May I come in? I'd like to talk to you about your sister, Mrs. O'Connell.
Paul came in with tonight's paper. Showed me Amy's picture. He went down the morgue to identify her. I couldn't bear to.
Sure.
I feel somehow, in some way, that you're a friend, Mr. Dollar.
Mrs. O'Connell, I am a friend in a way, but mostly I'm an insurance investigator. You thought I was a friend of your dead husband when I came here earlier. I'm not. I never even knew him.
Mr. Dollar, I don't understand.
I met your sister Amy last night. I was the last one to speak to her before she died. I took her to the emergency hospital last night.
Wait, this is all very confusing. You say you're an insurance investigator?
Yes. Now, well, I got your address from a gun I found in your sister's purse. I traced it through the license to carry. This gun, Mrs. O'Connell. Your husband was licensed to carry it when he worked for a bank firm. You recognize it?
Yes, I suppose I do. I think it's one of Ray's guns.
Now, please, let me find something out first. Believe me, I do want to help. Did you know your sister had this gun?
No, what would Amy want with a gun? I mean, well, she could have picked it up here anytime she came over. Probably did. But why would Amy have a gun in her purse?
Mrs. O'Connell, you better listen to me carefully. Sometime late yesterday afternoon or early evening, a man named Belden was shot and killed.
Clarence Belden?
Yes.
He worked in an auditing firm. Amy spoke of him. Mr. Dollar.
Wait. Listen to the rest of this. Belden had been working on books for Richmond Limited. As I understand it, your sister Amy was responsible for those books. Right now, the police have enough evidence to figure that your sister stole $10,000 from Richmond Limited.
Amy? Oh, no.
Now, hear me out, Mrs. O'Connell. They have that evidence in bulk form. They certainly have reason to assume, and they are assuming, that your sister shot Belden to keep him quiet about the shortage.
Don't say those things about Amy when she's not here to defend herself.
Please, I'm just telling you what's going on downtown, what they found. This gun they don't have yet, I withheld it. It has been fired 3 times recently. Belden was shot 3 times. By now, your sister's body has no doubt been identified. They've already established that she died of poisoning, and they halfway have the idea that she committed suicide.
No.
Oh, don't you see? They'll say she shot Belden to cover up and keep her quiet, and then saw how useless it was. Poisoned and killed herself to escape punishment.
Horrible. Go away. Go away from me.
I'm sorry, but in the face of all this, I want to help her if I can. If it isn't too late. I want to help you. But Mrs. O'Connell, you'll have to help me. Why would your sister steal? Why?
I don't know.
I think you do know. Help me, please, for her sake, Mrs. O'Connell.
Why? What you got to do with her?
I met her only for a few minutes, but in that few minutes, I got the idea that she was a pretty nice person. She didn't strike me as a thief. She didn't look like a killer. And most of all, she didn't look like a woman who'd take the suicide way out of things. Now, that's all I have, except that she asked me to help her. And I'm trying to do that. Believe me, I want to help her if I can.
Hollywood, it's time now for
$20. This is Paul Dameron, Mr. Dollar. I was afraid you left town and I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to thank you for your kindness about Amy and the way you handled Terry. It's darn decent of you. Of course, I want to apologize for my attitude again.
How's Mrs. O'Connell?
Terrible. I mean, the papers this morning connected her sister Amy with murdering Belvin and committing suicide. I'm curious. How did you get to it?
I found Amy's purse and looked up the registration. What now, Mr. Oldfield?
This statement was made to me clearly states your intentions to this Smith. Your motive. You attempted to help a girl who died in your company. You had no idea she might have committed a murder or embezzled $10,000. Held evidence, the gun you found in her purse, in the hope of identifying her and saving her family some grief. I hope you don't have to use this.
We'll see. I'm going to turn the gun in now, and you're coming with me.
It's about time. Nothing personal, son. I think you did a lot of dumb things for her. From what they're saying in the papers about her, I don't think she deserved it. But then we all make wrong guesses sometimes, I suppose.
Let's get this over with. Lawyer Sam Oldfield accompanied me downtown to police headquarters, where we sought out Lieutenant Akins and turned over the .38 automatic. Oldfield handed the statement over to him, and he read it through. Then he called in his ballistics man to make an immediate check of the gun. When he'd done that, Akins asked Oldfield and myself to wait. He left. An hour later, he came back.
You are a lucky boy, Dollar. First off, I'm going to tell you, that gun you've been withholding, that's the same weapon that killed the ordnance last building. Okay, now, you played it as safe as you could. You hired this lawyer to protect you and came to turning it in. Where you didn't leave. Any other time, I'd have put you in the focus so fast you thought you was born there. This time, I'm feeling gentle. You can go, Mr. Oldfield. You.
No charges against Mr. Dollar of withholding information?
No, not this time. I got my Jane Doe identified. I know her motive for killing the auditor. I know why she took the poison. You generally don't get everything in a deep package like that, so I feel generous.
Then let's get out of here, Dollar.
You get out. I want to talk to Dollar.
Then I'll stay. Listen.
It's okay, Mr. Oldfield. I'm going to get a lecture or something.
I sure. Call me later, then. Goodbye, Lieutenant.
Yeah. One thing more, Dollar. We found an empty bottle of paramythol in Amy Duran's medicine cabinet. That cinches that suicide part, in case you had any doubts. It's a closed case. But you didn't help me close it, Dollar, and you could have. You worked with the police for years. You were an officer yourself once. What makes you think you can come down here and run around doing all these things you've done and get away with? Why don't you turn that gun in with the purse as soon as you found it?
All right, I'll tell you, because I... Oh, it doesn't make a difference. Lieutenant, you got your case.
And you're lucky, darn lucky boy I don't have you too. Because you know just well as I do. Okay, right away. Dollar, I got business to take care of. Next time you're in my town, you take it easy.
I will. But I don't think I'll ever come to your town again. On general principles.
Well, I guess I know how you felt about that girl. I'm not gonna make any fuss about what you did. But I don't think I'd let it pass a second time. She sure didn't look the part, did she?
No, she didn't.
Yeah, it happens that way sometimes. What you told me about that kid sister of hers trying suicide and so forth after she lost her husband. Well, Amy Duran had a good motive for stealing that money. His motive can never be good.
I was just on my way to see you, Lieutenant.
I'll be back in my office in a couple of minutes. You go on and wait, Mr. Dameron.
Glad I saw you, Mr. Dollar. I think there's something I should explain to you. You'd be interested in this too, Lieutenant. Mr. Dollar saw me arguing with Amy Duran in the parking lot at the Plant Agent Hotel last night. She just told me about the shortage in accounts. She hadn't told me about killing the auditor. I want you to know that I was racking my brain trying to find a way to get hold of some money to make up the shortage. I was always very fond of Amy. I wonder, Mr. Dollar, if I could give you a check.
Huh?
Something for your kindness.
Nothing, thanks.
Well, I'd like to. You did something very decent.
No.
Oh. Well, I suppose you'll be leaving soon. Goodbye, and thanks again. I'll be in your office, Lieutenant.
Right. Got to him, too, if it's any comfort. What was that business in the parking lot?
Oh, well. Well, I hit him. He was arguing with me, that's all.
You weren't the only one trying to help her, Dollar. Him. And then there was somebody else.
Huh?
A bank. We found a certified check for $10,000 in Amy Duran's apartment. National Trust in New York, issued 3 days ago. I wired the head cashier in New York. He said Amy Duran phoned him long distance, requested the loan. Seems her folks, when they were alive, had a good pull.
Wait a minute, hold it. And this isn't right. She could have covered that shortage.
I figure she intended to do that, but the auditor found out too quick. He called on it and she shot him.
With a $10,000 check in her hand?
Well,
there isn't an auditor or a bonding company going that wouldn't prefer to turn up the cash and the person who took it. They'd listen to any reasonable story, you know that.
Well, the auditor must have scared her, Dollar. She shot him, didn't she? She committed suicide, didn't she?
You make a lot of noise, Higgins, but you aren't any happier about this than I am, are you?
No.
Why let the papers have it the way it is?
So that whoever knows answer will get careless. Sure, it burns me. Somebody thinking the police are as dumb as this. Burns me.
Well, what are you gonna do?
Wait. Just wait.
I found that pretty hard to do. And the more I waited and the more I thought about the matter, the more restless I felt. So I didn't wait. I got out and started interviewing people who had known the murdered auditor. The consensus was that he knew his business, that if he'd found a shortage and someone offered to reimburse the company, he had been the kind of old hand who would have listened. Why, I asked myself, if Amy Duran had a $10,000 check to cover her shortages, why did she shoot the auditor and then commit suicide? Why? It didn't make sense. up. I want you to tell it now, right now. Over there. Pick it up. Go on, pick it up. Okay. You know who to call. Expense account item 12, $55, room and board. Item 13, $55 airfare and miscellaneous getting me back to Hartford. Total expense account $702.13. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Remember, there'll be another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, beginning next Monday night.
Next week, a whole city is aroused by one of the dirtiest rackets of modern times. And I end up right in the middle. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by John Dawson, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in this week's cast from Michael Ann Barrett, Gene Bates, Marvin Miller, Frank Kirsten, Laura Duffy, Jeff Bruce, Ken Peters, and Herb Butterfield. Musical supervision by Enrico Marino. Be sure to join us on Monday night, same time and station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Lloyd Rowan speaking.
Like a dog without a bone, an actor out on loan, riders on the storm.
From Hollywood, it's time now for
Johnny Dollar. Yes?
Western Union, I have a message for you from New York.
Oh?
Please proceed Northern Hotel, Clinton, Colorado.